Hey, this is Tom from Thank You Scientists.
And this is Ben from Thank You Scientists.
And you're listening to
Sonic Perspectives.
Woo!
I don't know when I'll be back again.
Hello, this is Nick from Sonic Perspectives, and I'm happy to be talking with one of the most important young bands in American progressive rock. Here with Ben, here with Tom from Thank You Scientists. Welcome, boys.
Howdy. Thanks for having us, man.
Oh, so happy to have you guys. I know it's been a long night. You're right on the heels here of another tour, and we know right now your third full-length album, Terraformer, it's a double album. It's being released June 14th. That's what we already know. What we need to unpack a bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Cream Co. We're going to talk about Bargain Boys. We're going to talk about the latest promo video, but let's start easy on things. We have a new album coming out. What can you tell us about the direction of Terraformer?
It's got a lot of different directions.
Yes,
but
multifaceted, I would say.
But I'd say, although it has many directions and many trajectories, it all makes sense together. So it's not,
and it's one giant experience that's meant to be sort of experienced,
yeah,
as a whole. You know, it's an investment. We know, we realize that.
Investment in Cream Co.
It's an investment in Cream Co.
Investment in Cream Co. Yes, and an investment in a second disc. I love you guys, but you're doing something that some of my other favorites have done, and doing an 84-minute double album. So that last 4 minutes, it just better be premium stuff, is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, well, I mean, we wouldn't do it if we didn't think there was a real reason for it, and like. Also, you know, we're not a band that puts out a record like every 6 months or every year, you know, like we really kind of pour ourselves into it. So, you know, I think giving a little extra to people, you know, that's not a bad thing entirely.
Yeah,
nope.
Definitely. It's been a while since Stranger Heads dropped, and, you know, we've been touring on that record for quite a while now. So I think it's time to, you know, unleash a beast, you know?
Yeah.
Unleash the fury.
Thanks, Yngwie. Very nice.
Yeah.
On that note, with the amount of touring you've been doing and the time since Stranger Heads, you have been playing some new material live over the past year or two here, and some bands stray away from that. They won't touch unreleased material, but you guys have been very liberal with it. Has that helped shape the final form of these songs on the album?
Totally.
I'd say definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, it's one thing to play a tune in your rehearsal space or, you know, make a demo, but you know, once you're out and you're playing some of these new tunes, you know, night after night, you really get a grip on them, and you know, you take more liberties, and you know, things change over time, obviously, because
we're the type of band that constantly changes and like refines things.
Yeah. So
like, there's things that, you know, we've played before live where we've totally changed the arrangement, like how it appears on the record. You know, we're always like really trying to kind of push it forward. So live is like it's a good way to like gauge the energy, and also, you know, we've got 7 dudes with all of them have really amazing ideas. So it's, you know, someone's always going to come up with some cool suggestion and push it forward. So like we're all about just keeping it fluid and allowing it to, like, you know, we have a good idea. Yeah. Let's go back and change it and let it evolve.
Yeah. Like every idea gets its its light, and you know, it gets tried, and if it sticks, it sticks. If not, you know, at least we can say we tried it.
Yeah. And speaking of those 7 guys, we got 3 of them that are going to be new on this album. We got Joe on drums, Sam on sax, and another Joe on trumpet. What did they do for the album? What was the big difference in bringing them in?
Man, they were huge.
Yeah, I mean, they're just new. It's fresh blood, you know, completely new guys, new set of ideas.
And they were very involved in the writing process. Where I would say, like, the core of the band that's been in the band for a while, you know, obviously Ben included, in that we're kind of like usually spearheading the writing together. these new guys though really like grabbed onto that and just became a part of that whole operation and really like
like they weren't timid about it.
Yeah,
like the writing just responsibility just kind of immediately dispersed, and everybody just kind of pulled their weight and really kicked ass.
Yeah, and they're all they all have their own musical projects too that they write for. So they're all like I don't know. They're all full of great ideas.
Yeah,
they're
all
very lucky.
active.
Very lucky to have them.
So while we're talking about the size of the band here, no jokes. You guys, 7-piece band, you tour a lot, and that's got to be difficult to pull off these tours. It's no easy feat, and when you times that by the number of people you have, it becomes more and more difficult to get these things done. What's the key to making that work for you guys?
Getting everybody to help load gear.
Yeah,
that's one.
Yeah, everybody just helping a little bit is really, really helpful. And it's important. Like, there's no dead weight, and I think that's important. Where in the past, we might have had some dead weight.
Yeah.
But I think there's, the past couple tours, because we've been touring with this new lineup for a while now.
It's almost 2 years.
Yeah, and it's just everybody contributes something, and they all sort of kind of like, we all fall into our sort of responsibility niche, and we know like, oh, this is a Ben thing, or this is a Joe thing, or this is a, like we kind of like know, so that like, and we can kind of, it's a trust thing. We can all rely on each other that like, we all have things to do, and we all know that they will get done, and when we come together, we can all breathe easy.
And also, because we're like at the moment, we're self-managed, so that's one thing that was great with the new guys. They all stepped up and they wanted to help, take an equal part of, helping the management process, whether it's, helping figure out routing for tours, when we were touring bands, booking hotels, all that kind of logistical stuff. There's just so many moving parts and, so many tasks to be done.
Yeah, there's a lot of minutia that you just wouldn't think about when you think about a band. You think about like we just rolled out of bed and then like got into a van and threw some shit in there. But there really is a lot of, like Ben said, there's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of stuff that we need to take care of.
But it doesn't always have to be that way. Tell me real quick about the last Chicago show.
Oh, that was actually one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So that one was booked the same day that it happened. So which we had a gig that night that got canceled. Yeah, we had this promoter. We booked this gig, and the guy was just like ghosting us. We were trying to advance the show. For those who listening who don't know, that's just basically like you're handling the logistics beforehand with the talent buyer and promoter or whatever, just to make sure all your ducks are in a row. And we hadn't heard anything, and we started getting a little worried about this gig. And sure enough, somebody, a buddy from Reggie's reached out, and he said like, hey, we got the room open if you guys want to play here. And I checked with the guys. We were able to make it to the city, and we shockingly pulled it together, and a decent amount of people, at least 50 or so people, just showed up.
Yeah,
on a total whim. It was
just for a couple hours notice. I mean, I was like pretty amazed by that, man.
Yeah, I saw some pictures and things from that gig, and I was kind of following it on Facebook, and it's quite an amazing feat to pull off. I was unfortunately at the Boston gig on the Haken tour, and remember the trials and tribulations from that. Did you
come to the basement for that one, or did you?
I may have stayed at the Brighton Music Hall. Sorry to say. I saw the 4 previous shows. I get a pass.
Yeah, no, I'll let you go there. For those who don't know, though. We can explain that story. That's actually kind of a funny story. Like, the power grid went out on that block in Boston, and basically there's a tight curfew in the venue, so it got past a certain point where there was no power. Everybody who was at the show was sitting on the street, and it got to a certain point where like we couldn't play anymore. And we're right by Berklee College of Music. There's a lot of dorm houses, and some dude was just nice enough to be like, "Hey, you guys want to play in my basement?" And we were like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And we crammed a bunch of people in a Boston basement.
And it's one thing I love about Thank You Sign. Now, keep in mind, I love Haken to death, and anyone who knows me knows my love of Haken. That being said, I don't think those guys would ever pull off a gig like that. I think they're too far into the tech end of things and not enough into the pure rock end of things like you guys are that could truly make something like that work. And it really is a cool and special experience. So it is really cool to see something like that.
Yeah, that was a very memorable one for us, for sure.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I mean, it sucks that we couldn't play with our brothers in Haken, but at the same time, it was a unique one.
Yeah, we got to take it into our own hands and just have a basement rock show. And
it was actually a great show, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people came. The basement was packed for sure. It's nice and sweaty.
Yeah.
Yep. And, another thing that I've long admired about the band, and for people who don't know, Tom's guitars, Ben is violin, also have trumpet, you also have sax, drums, bass, and I feel like vocals. Vocals somewhat important. So big band, and one of the things I've always admired is you realize you don't always have to utilize all 7 people. I think the violins and the brass punching in and out really helps give it some kick that you wouldn't otherwise have. But is it tough in the writing process, kind of keeping in mind that people might not be playing 100% of the time?
I think everybody, because we write together, so I think everybody is pretty aware of their voice, their instrument's voice.
And we're always thinking about orchestration too. Like if a part doesn't need something, like no one's offended if we say like, hey, let's duck that out. And then, pulling things back only makes it more dramatic when they come back in. So it's
adding dynamic with layers and
exactly
how many parts are being played at once. And whether or not everybody's playing the same thing, whether it's harmonized or if there's a counterpoint line going on,
or just like how wide we're voicing a chord. Like maybe in a certain chorus or an earlier chorus in a song, we have the voicings like really tight with 2 moving lines, and then maybe by the end of the song, the voicings are like really wide with a lot more counterpoint or something like that. But all that stuff sort of, it kind of adds drama, and it's cool, and it's a muscle that we could flex that if we were just, guitar, bass, and drums type of band, we wouldn't be able to flex. So that's part of why we're Thank You Scientists.
No, it's one of those things. On one hand, I can understand the people where you see it as kind of like not a gimmick, but like, oh, here's this band, but then they also have this stuff. But it truly is so crucial to the core of what the band is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is so its own unique thing, and it's a big part of the reason that myself and others really love the band. Now going back a little bit to the new album here, Terraformer, we're just getting the gears in motion for this. The tour starts April 12th for people that don't know. ThankYouScientist.com. You can find info on the tour and tickets. You can find info to pre-order Terraformer. You're also going to be greeted there with a video. Who took the acid trip in making this video?
Well, we were acquired by a large global mega conglomerate known as Cream Co. Somewhat recently. And their board of directors, wanted to go in an interesting direction for our new record.
Yeah, they wanted something fresh to, rise to the top on.
Yeah, so to speak. Very nice, man. And but actually, so we took it upon ourselves to make this video. For the last record, we had, like a weird sort of jingle that I had written for the pre-order of the album for Stranger Heads. And we knew we wanted to do something unique. And I'm sure since we're of a similar generation, Nick, that we probably were up late at night when we were younger. We watched those dumb infomercials on TV, that were on at 3 a.m. when there was nothing else on TV. And so we wanted to do an infomercial of our own, and we decided to cast it on Craigslist. And we weren't specifically looking for a new senior citizen, but
we were just looking for somebody 50 plus, preferably male, just somebody who you could just have promote a rock band and just be a little awkward about it.
We wanted the grandfatherly sort of host, for sure.
Yeah.
But we got more than we bargained for with the gentleman that we found, Mike Affleck, and that was. The post that we made was very innocuous. It was we were looking for a 50-plus host for an infomercial, and we got a lot of headshots for people who are very young.
Yeah, we got a couple guys in their 20s.
Yeah, And Mike messaged us, and he was very upfront about the nudity aspect of it, which we weren't requesting.
Yeah, we not mentioned nudity once in the ad.
Well,
And,
here's the thing about Craigslist: no matter what you post, expect to get some nudity back.
Yeah, I guess there Craigslist has an implied sort of my penis is going to be out kind of thing.
Yeah, every time I try to sell a pedal there, all dick pics per day is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the great thing about this push that you have going on. Like the Craigslist thing, I had no idea how serious it is. I have no idea in all of this leading up to the album. I have no idea what is real and what is just complete, insanity that you've made up. And I'm sure that's the point, and it's glorious. And it brings me to the general. What is the importance today of marketing in music, especially in cutting through all the social media noise?
Kind of.
I mean, I think it's just one extra way to show your personality.
Yeah, just it's the creative part, just like the music. I mean, there's so many business aspects of doing the band thing, but the music isn't the only creative part. Obviously you have music videos, but promotion, being creative with thinking about different ways other than the stereotypical music video with the album song and then everybody dancing around, or lyric video, but just thinking outside, like what else can we do that's a little different, that might be a little fresh.
And also we want to show people that we put time into this stuff to try to make it unique. Like we could very well just try to sell people, here's our album, pre-order it, we need money, but we we want to try to put our own personal stamp on it. So we try to just do something weird, and we all,
And also, I mean, it's fun to have just a sense of humor with everything.
Yeah. Oh, and there's definitely no shortage of that in seeing Thank You Scientists live and watching any video that is posted. The humor is certainly there for all to see. Now, like I say, the marketing end of things, I just find it fascinating, just because personally I find the cluster F that is social media to be so hard to cut through, and especially now you have your Twitter, you have your Facebook, you have your Instagram. Is there someone in the band that's kind of like the spearman on that, or do you just kind of all take it in stride and all kind of help push and all that?
It's generally everybody that's sort of responding. I mean, it's a lot of me, Ben, and Cody, I feel like.
Yeah.
But everybody jumps in every now and then.
Yeah, everybody has access to the social media pages.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this little cutie. Who's that?
Xanadu makes appearances on many interviews.
Xanadu! You're named after a Rush song? That's adorable.
I know, it is. And for those that can't listen, this is the Black Cat. Last heard in the Conor Green interview, has made another appearance.
Aw, what a cutie.
But yeah, so it's one of those things here. Like I say, I'm glad that you guys are doing it. It just makes life more fun. At the end of the day, whether you're a Thank You Scientist fan or not, you can enjoy the ridiculous material that's out there, and I think it just brings general attention to things. When you first announced the tour, you did a spoof of Greta Van Fleet that was insanely good. I absolutely love that video, and just seeing those things, it can do nothing but help that general exposure it gives you. So you guys are great on that front, and I love it.
Have you called the hotline?
I did call the hotline. So yeah, you can call 1-800-BARGAIN-BOY, removing all the vowels, and you get like a satanic message followed by some other stuff. So definitely do yourself a favor and do that. You're not going to get any info on how to pre-order the album, I don't think, but
well, there's lots of hidden messages on there, and we actually had people on Reddit decoding some of the hidden messages and finding out like things about the album.
Yeah, like
a couple of people figured out the album title before it came out, and
nice.
But so we've been like, you have to sort of do some detective work, but there's real information on there, but you just have to sit with it. And
it's encrypted in its own way.
Yeah.
I had to work through a friend. I literally called at work while I was chatting with a friend, and then I got a work call like halfway through the message, and I had to hang up, and I didn't call back, so I just trusted him on the rest of what was there.
Yeah. And we update it a lot. It gets updated.
It's regularly updated? It's just not the same? Oh,
leading up to the album, we're going to keep on putting other stuff up there, so.
And again, it goes back to what I said before. There was a good solid like week or two after I first saw the number that I'm just like, I bet that's not even a real. Yeah, that's probably a real number. No, they didn't actually like pay for this phone number. Yes, they did. So, just to kind of hit the points here again, I know long night of rehearsal for you guys because you got a tour coming up here April 12th. You're right close to home there in Jersey City. And I think the 19th, the tour proper kind of starts off in Pittsburgh before you circle all of North America and end near home again. Terraformer.
Listening, I'm nodding right now.
Yes, Terraformer is out June 14th. You can go to thankyouScientist.com to pre-order. There's a special $50 bundle. Are any of those still available, or is that sold out already?
There's just a few left of the first bundle. Yeah.
Okay, so by the time this is posted, I expect this to be outdated information, and you're just going to have to settle for the normal album like the plebs that you are.
Yeah, let them know what they missed out on. So the first special bundle, we have this kind of rad color splattered double vinyl, and then a signed full score of one of the songs on the record, which is pretty cool. And then we have trading cards of all of us and our dads. So it's a full set of all of us and our dads. And
complete with stats.
Complete with stats, yeah. They've
Very
got stats
important.
on them. And I'm trying. Am I leaving anything out, or is that it?
I think
I think that's it.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty.
The lyric booklet.
Oh yeah.
Included with the vinyl.
So there's a fully illustrated lyric book by this amazing artist Shampoo, who for every song he has like an original piece inspired by the song. And we have this nice, fully illustrated 22-page lyric book. Also, it's cool. We tried to do something special for everybody.
Yeah, and the special editions has become like a big competition in recent years, and who can get what in there and what different combinations. I think with the next one, just be the first band. Don't even put the album in there. Just put a bunch of crap in there. Don't even put the album in there and release that as your limited edition.
I like that.
But Ben and Tom, thank you guys so much. And again, thankyouScientist.com has all the information you need. Guys, have a great tour. See you Friday.
Thank you, Nick. Looking forward to
Friday.
See ya.
And there you have it, fine folks of the Sonic Perspectives audience, Tom and Ben from Thank You Scientist. Again, new album Terraformer is out June 14th. Find that and tour dates at thankyouScientist.com. And since we don't have any new music from the new album yet, I'm going to lead you out with a track, one of my favorite tracks from their last album, Stranger Heads Prevail from 2016. This is A Wolf in Cheap Clothing. Enjoy, and don't forget to tune in to the podcasts, subscribe to those, like us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the socials. Please follow us. Thank you much, and enjoy.
Summer gone and winter near, she whispers sad but true. Maybe you need some time away, thinking there's a better place than here. Somewhere that the sun still shines, when love sees through their lies, where pain is all but real to me. Got you digging